boys. They're super cute, most of the time. Hi friends, thanks so much for joining us on Everything Beautiful TV.
So, let's talk about boys. Some of them are great, but some of them can really break our hearts. Did you know that Jesus had some pretty legit stuff to say about relationships and true love? Honestly, God's word is so much better than any fairy tale or any Prince Charming. And you know what? His word won't lead us down a path of false expectations.
Today on EBTV, we'll also hang out with Karina Monroe. She's got some pretty interesting stuff to say, and she did a survey with boys. You won't believe what they say their biggest struggle is. Plus, we'll have the cutest makeup tips for going to school and work. All that and more on EBTV. Hey girls, I'm Rachel Markin, and we're hanging out with Karina Monroe. She's the founder of Simply Pure Ministries. Karina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we're so glad you're here. And you've been working on a really interesting project.
I have.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we have done a survey of over 200 high school boys, 9th to 12th grade. And we have not released the results yet, so it'll be released first time I'm here on Everything Beautiful. The main reason was to talk to the girls, give them an insight, a little bit on the inside of a guy's heart and what's kind of going on that we really don't know. And so they were random results, random surveys sent to youth groups, community events, some high school classrooms. And we asked them to answer them honestly and not make a big joke out of it, but not participate unless you can really share your honest thoughts about
and that's
it.
hard
So
for
that
high school guys
really is.
Sometimes.
I was afraid I'd just get doodles and whatever sent back to me on it. And I was really impressed at how honest and how tightly folded up every one of them were, because they wanted to make sure that nobody would know what they put. It was amazing, the form that they came in to meet.
What was the first question that you asked?
The first question was, what is your #1 struggle in high school today? What is the one thing that you can pick that is bothering you personally the most? And 82% came out porn and lust. We clumped those two together because we believe they go pretty hand in hand. And we're talking churched and non-churched. So I want to make that clear that, you know,
it's everyone.
That it is, it's everyone. And 15% came out alcohol and drugs, and only 4%, and I say only because 82% is huge. It really took me back. You know that it's an issue, but to see that number really threw me back and really weighed heavy on me. I was just disturbed by that. So that being said, okay, the 4% was worry and stress. Worry with school, those innocent lost their hearts, homework, sports. That's what that 4% of the high school. And when you ask a parent, which we started just vocally, not by survey, what do you think their biggest struggle is? Oh, that homework. They stay up till, well, only 4%.
Right.
And so that was, to me,
and
amazing.
I think a lot of girls in high school would be surprised that the guys are struggling with porn. Like, I wouldn't think that would be the #1 thing. But the more you think about it, like, we carry around our tablets and our cell phones everywhere. It's so easy. If you're tempted to look at it, it's right there. It's right in your hands.
That's right. And the second question was, out of the girls today, the way that they are today, the way they act, the way whatever, what would be the one thing you would change about a girl today? The #1 thing that they came back, the highest percentage, so it was 63%, said they would change the way a girl dresses provocatively and immodestly. I was shocked. I really was.
I would be too.
Yeah, I mean, of course, their words, I'm going to say, were trashy and, in other words, to describe that. But it was it's in their face. And so if 82% is struggling with pornography and lust, what are we doing? We're hurting them. We're causing a big struggle in their life.
I think that a lot of girls probably don't see it that way. They wouldn't relate it. They would think, this is my body. It looks good on me. Why can't I wear that? How they look at me is their problem. And what would you say to that?
I really think that most of the time, if you talk to the girls, which will be our next survey, we haven't started with the girls. We felt it was important to do the guys first, but I really think we're going to find this is my instincts.
Right.
We're gonna find that the girls are doing it for attention anyway. And
Deep
that's what
down
we're seeing. I
inside.
really believe that. Now, I have asked a lot of the girls that I mentor because they'll ask me, what do you think about this? My mom says it's too short and da-da-da-da, and I'm getting a reputation, and I think it looks great on me, and if I want to wear it, just like what you said, I should be able to wear it if I'm comfortable in it and if I've got the body. If you don't have the body, you have no business putting it on. You know, and that's what you hear a lot of these high schoolers talk like, you know, and my take on it, I go to that verse, I have to, along with what we're talking about. Luke 17, 1-3, it says, things that cause people to stumble, I might mess up on this a little bit, but things that cause man to stumble are bound to come, but woe to whom they come. And we're as good as thrown into the bottom of the sea with a millstone tied around our neck. And it says, so watch ourselves. So basically that verse tells me we're at fault if we've caused someone to stumble. So if we're dressing in a way that is causing a guy to lust over us or be further tempted, yikes. We're as good as thrown in the sea with a millstone tied around our neck. That's what I share with my girls.
And we often don't make that connection. Well, we've got to take a break, but we'll be right back. Keep it here.
Hey everyone, welcome to Everything Beautiful TV.
There can never be more beautiful you.
Go to everythingbeautifultv.com and get creative with do-it-yourself projects and fashion tips. Check out videos, read real talk blogs from real girls, find out where Henry's been spotted, watch EBTV on the Christian Television Network, and go to everythingbeautifultv.com now.
Hey girls, it's Amy for the Do-It-Yourself segment. Today we're going to be talking about everything beautiful and how to maintain the perfect day look. We have guest makeup artist Noelle McDonald to get us started, and we have our beautiful model Andrea helping us out. So Noelle, do you want to get started and show us what you would do to...
Sure. The first thing, the most important thing is you want to prep your skin. You want to have good skin as a good base.
Yeah.
So you always want to start with a moisturizer. It's probably the most important thing.
And you have Clinique. Is any moisturizer okay?
Yeah, you want to alter it to your skin type. So if you have dry skin, then you're going to want a more moisturizing moisturizer, I guess.
Okay.
If you are really oily, then you want an oil-free moisturizer. You kind of just want to alter it to your skin.
Yeah, and you can just use your hands instead of a brush, right?
Yeah, I'm just using a brush on her, but you're welcome as long as you've washed your hands first. It's really, really important because that's going to cause breakouts and put a lot of bacteria in your face that you don't need.
Okay, perfect.
And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a primer, and this is kind of an optional step, but it's going to create a more even finish to the face, and it's going to help that foundation go on a lot easier and smoother.
Okay. And this is Smashbox. You could probably just get this at Sephora.
Yeah, that comes at Sephora, and it also comes in some color correctors as well. So if you have really red skin, it actually comes in like a green tint, and that's actually just gonna cancel out some of the redness in your face, but it's not gonna make you look green when you put it on.
Okay, that's good. Because I know with a lot of lotions, I can get to looking really shiny, and so anything that makes you not look like that is good.
Yeah.
And most of your makeup here is MAC today.
Most of it,
okay.
Yeah. But of course, there are a million different dupes out there for some Maybelline and L'Oreal products. If you don't want to go out and spend the money on MAC, there are a lot of other good brands out there as well that do the same thing if you know the right application techniques.
Yes, and those are key.
All right, so while we let that dry, I'm gonna go ahead and put some primer on our eyes. This is another really, really important step because it's gonna keep the eyeliner or the eyeshadow from creasing, and it's gonna let it last a lot longer as well.
Okay. And what brush is that? Or what
this is actually just like a spatula, so I'm putting it on my hand just to be a little more hygienic, so we're not dipping it in there.
Okay.
But this is just a MAC paint pot in Painterly, and it works just as good. And there's a bunch of other like drugstore brand primers out there that work just as well also.
I never knew the importance of primer until now. Okay. And you're just going around her, just the lid part?
I'm focusing on the lid at first, but I'm actually gonna drag it all the way up to the brow bone.
Okay.
Because this is just a flesh colored primer. You can also get ones that have no color to them at all. They're just kind of like a cream.
Okay.
That just provides a really good base.
So you don't have to get the most expensive stuff to still maintain a good look.
No, I would say if you're gonna spend money on makeup, the best thing to invest in are brushes. That's gonna be the thing that is gonna last you the longest, and it's gonna create the better finish, because if you know how to use your brushes, then really any product, you know, is gonna work well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off with just a flesh-toned shadow right now, and I'm just tapping off the excess here so it doesn't fall down on your face. Okay. I'm just gonna apply that all over the lid. And since we're just creating a day look right now, we're just doing a nice natural brown eyeshadow.
Okay. And Andrea, do you like to wear a lot of makeup, or are you more of a less is better?
Less is better for me. I don't wear a ton of makeup, especially during the day. So I like a minimal look for work and for daytime.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think what we're showing today, so it'll be kind of useful. So when you start with your brown, you're going to want to start with a lighter brown. You don't want to just go right in with a dark brown, because it's not going to be as blendable. So if I start with a lighter brown and then building up the color, it's going to make it look a lot smoother and kind of create that airbrush finish to it. And so where I'm going to place this color is going to be right in what I call the triangle. So right where your eyelashes end, up into a triangle shape. That's going to be where you want to place the color.
Okay. That looks pretty, like that. You're doing more brownish on her?
Yeah, today I'm doing just that natural, like going to work every day, just easy to throw on. We're only going to use, I believe, 2 different colors of brown plus our light color and maybe a little white to highlight. So we're going to use at the most like 4 shadows. It's really easy to do in the morning times when you wake up, just to kind of make you look awake and
it's always
ready
nice
for work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty how you do that. Because I know I'll see every day like that look, but have no idea how to do it. And the triangle works.
Yeah, the triangle, it's such a good key. So what I'm doing now is just take a white color, and we're gonna apply it right under the brow bone, and that's gonna create a highlight. It's really important to do that. And be careful, you don't wanna use too much shimmer. It's okay to use shimmer in the browns, but try to use a little less shimmer in your highlight color, because that's gonna, the matte color is gonna create less, or more of a natural look.
Okay. Good information to know. And is a highlight necessary pretty much for, do you recommend a highlight for
I definitely recommend a highlight, yeah. It just kind of, again, gives you that more finished look and kind of completes your eye. So now I'm taking a gel eyeliner. You can use a pencil, you can use a liquid, but what's usually the easiest is a gel. And I'm using one by MAC, but there's also, again, I think Maybelline has a really good one. But these seem to be the easiest to use. And what I'm gonna do is it's called tight lining the eye. So instead of having to worry with getting a straight line and that kind of thing, you're just gonna, you can close for me, place it right almost into the bottom lashes. And it's actually gonna make your lashes look fuller and define your eyes as well. Okay. It's a lot easier too, because then you don't have to spend 10 minutes on your eyes trying to get that perfect line.
Okay. All right, and our kind of, I guess, closing down with the eye look. With the day, so you really think you only need like 3 different colors, 2 browns, and then 1 highlight, this on the top lid, and then with mascara real quickly, what, are you doing black or brown?
I'm actually doing a brown today, yeah. Since we're gonna go with more natural, just going with the brown. And the last thing too is make sure you fill in your eyebrows. That's really, really important. It defines your features and defines your face, and if anything, I would say definitely, if you don't wear much makeup, always remember your eyebrows.
Okay, and then end with a great just foundation and then a lip gloss with a little bit of color?
You don't need too much on your lips, especially if you're going out for lunch and things like that too. Just a little lip gloss will do, and make sure you put on a foundation and a nice peachy blush.
Perfect. Well, we're going to have all these tips and definitely your information back on everythingbeautifultv.com. Thank you so much, Noelle, for coming in, and Andrea for being a model, showing us a great day look. We'll end on a lovely picture of you. And yeah, you can get all the tips on our website.
Want more beautiful things in your life? You can contact EBTV.
Find EBTV online at everythingbeautifultv.com. Check out our Facebook and Twitter, or you can write to the address on your screen, or call us at 615-754-0039. Hey girls, welcome back. If you're just now joining us, we've been hanging out with Karina Monroe. We've been talking about boys, and she has some pretty interesting survey results. Karina, welcome back.
Thank you.
So we were just talking about the way we dress and the way it can actually affect guys. Let's kind of pick up there, because I often feel like girls think when they get the attention, it means that a guy likes them. But I guess some of this I've heard before, that when they're getting that attention, it's just a sexual attention. It's not really a guy wanting to start a relationship with them.
That's right. According to the survey, it's 63% of them wish that they would quit dressing that way. And I think it was the next main thing that they would change was really their drama and the way that they act. But if it's 63% of them are bothered by the way that we dress, and then 82% are lusting, is their main struggle. I think that we have that shows us a big issue, that we're responsible really for some of the lusting. Not all of it, of course. It's not all our fault, but we can help them. We can, and it's up to us to be able to help them. And I do think that they want the attention, and they like the attention. And that's my opinion, and what I'm also hearing from the girls, that they like the attention. But there's so much that is further than that. It's a deeper thing within themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they have that dignity? An interesting verse, if I may. Proverbs 31:25 talks about the virtuous woman. Of course, everybody pretty much knows about the Proverbs 31 woman. But the English Standard Version has a message. I want to say it was English Standard Version. It could be the NIV. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
But it was talking about she's clothed with strength and dignity. Do we really think about that when we get dressed in the morning?
I don't think about it enough.
No, I don't
most
enough.
certainly don't.
And dignity, I mean, having worthy of that self-respect, I think that's where it lies. How much respect do we have, in our own self to be able to dress according to that verse?
And we're not saying that you can't have your own sense of style.
Right.
If you're a hipster, or if you're sporty, whatever your style is, you can still do that. We're not telling you to wear bonnets, and skirts, denim skirts down to the floor, because I don't want to do that either.
That's what I tell the girls. I have a Bible study that I wrote, and it's choosing to be a true daughter of the King. And in that study, we talk about what does a daughter of the King look like. And of course, the girls laugh, and I give them a chance to answer first. And it's turtlenecks and skirts down to their ankles. That's what they always tell me. But I tell them that's not what modesty is.
I think that's our fear, that's what we're expected to wear.
I really do. And there are some religions that may feel that they have to cover every piece of skin, and that might be where that comes from too. But I tell them no, modesty is so much more than that. You don't have to be frumpy and dorky and where the ugliest clothes. There's great things to wear. I always do this little self-check, and that's what I teach them is like the raise and praise. And if you raise your arms and your belly shows, then go put a cami on. Go do something. Or the bendo, there's something you're seeing underneath there. Go put some leggings on. Go do something. So I have those little tricks that I have them do self-checks, and my own daughters, I have them do self-checks. If you're not following these guidelines, get back inside and try again.
And those are good guidelines. And I have to be honest, even when I was in high school, we had a uniform, but I always got in trouble for breaking uniform. I didn't have my shirt tucked in, or I didn't have a belt or maybe my shirt was too short when I raised my hands. So I remember all of those things.
Right.
So what else? What else did the survey find?
One of the other surveys the other questions was, what is it that guys are looking for in a girl? What is the main characteristic or quality that they're looking for in a girl? And 63%, that came out at 63% of them are looking for a girl with morals, or now I'm assuming, because it's non-church and church, that the church are choosing this, but a girl with a relationship with the Lord. That was very key.
That makes me happy.
It made me so happy. And if I may look at this, I want to share with you the rest of it because it was interesting.
Absolutely.
It was 33% were looking for a girl with a good personality. And only 4%, I was proud of that, only 4% are looking at the beauty on the outside. That was their number one thing that they were looking for, is they must be beautiful.
Yeah, we don't want those guys anyways.
No, just forget that 4%, because, I mean, 63% are really looking for that inner beauty anyways.
And when I'm looking at a guy, I look for those things too.
Right.
You look for what's inside of them too.
How many times do you go to the mall or you go somewhere, or when you were in high school, that you looked and said, he is so hot, what is he doing looking at that, going out with that girl that is so ugly?
I know, I'm guilty of doing that.
And then if you meet her, I know, but and that's the common thing that you hear. Why do hot guys always look at, ugly girls? Well, it's sad enough to say that there's any ugly. We're all beautiful. But you know what? You go to meet them, and they're the sweetest, kindest, loving girl.
Right, and beauty will fade.
And the outer beauty, that's
will
right.
Fade.
And you find that they are beautiful after you've talked to them after a little while.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And that inner beauty is shining from them. That's exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, we're out of time. This has been such a good
been
talk.
great.
I'm sad that it's over. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we have time for today. If you want to find out more about Karina Monroe, just check out our website, everythingbeautifultv.com.
Can't live with him, can't live without him. We're talking about boys here today on EBTV. Now, I'm sure you, just like me, grew up watching Disney movies, and we saw Cinderella magically finding her Prince Charming. Well, if dating or even being friends with guys were as easy as it was for Cinderella, who just found her Prince Charming, I really feel like there would be a whole lot less heartache in our lives. Now, it's not as easy as Cinderella just losing her slipper, Prince Charming finding it, and then all of a sudden just going through this magic quest and finding her. The glass slipper magically fits, so, since the slipper fit, obviously they're gonna get married and live happily ever after, forever and ever. It's funny how the Disney movies we all grew up with, they lived happily together forever and ever. And now, in our culture, it seems to fit more with Taylor Swift, whose recent song just said, "We are never, ever, ever, ever getting back together." So, what's changed? What happened to our fairy tale ending and our Prince Charmings? I have some good news for you and some bad news for you. The good news is, your Prince Charming and your fairy tale ending, they both really do exist. The bad news, it's probably not gonna look a whole lot like the Disney fairy tales that we all grew up with. If you're in middle school or even in high school, I would almost beg you guys to wait to date. Coming from someone who was in long-term relationships in middle school and in high school, if I can go back and do it all over, I would have invested so much more time in getting to know my friends, in finding out what it was that God had created me to do, in throwing myself into my schoolwork, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, rather than focusing so much on guys. Now, I know that's probably not the cool and popular thing that you were hoping that I was gonna say, but it's the real thing, it's the truth. And coming from someone who's been there and done that, I just wanna be honest with you guys and tell you that if I can do it over, I would totally do it different. Now, before we get into a dating relationship, it's so important that we understand who we are in Christ and we have that firm foundation. Because if we just start dating any guy that seems to show interest in us, it's very, very easy, if we don't have a foundation and know who we are and where we wanna go in our lives, that we can just fall into and go with the flow of whatever that guy seems to be doing. Relationships and boys, even though they may drive us insane sometimes, they were both actually created by God. And you know what? They were both created to add to our lives and not take away from our lives. When you have a clear vision and a firm foundation of who you are in Christ, you know what He created you for, you know what your specific gifts and talents are for, you're not just gonna date any random guy that comes along and shows interest in you, because you have a solid foundation and you know what you want. So that's gonna help you to avoid tons of heartache in your life. It's gonna help you to find the right guy who is also pursuing God, who maybe lines up with your passions. Relationships, they were meant to encourage each other and to add to each other. God didn't intend for relationships to be filled with heartache. Now, I just really wanna encourage you guys to wait for that guy. Don't settle for anything less. Don't be in such a hurry to date. Just to be real, I totally get that giving your dating life to God is really hard. I mean, I'm in my 30s now. The majority of my friends are married and they all have kids. There's been so many times in my life where I was just like, God, what the heck? What about me? I felt like he forgot about me. But then he would answer me in the coolest ways. He would show up in ways that I can't even explain to you guys, but he would show me things that I was doing in my life right now that honestly, if I was married with kids, I couldn't be doing. I mean, even this right now, if I was a mom with children, I would probably be home taking care of them and not being able to come here and to teach you guys and to help you guys. And there's so many things that God wants you to focus on right now besides boys and dating. And there's so many things that he has planned for you that honestly might not include boys right now. But he loves you, and he only wants what's absolute best for you. He wants you to be happy. Jeremiah 29:11, it tells us that he has good plans for our lives. And honestly, that plan includes boys, and eventually down the road, who you marry as well. As hard as it may be sometimes, trust God when it comes to boys. Trust God in your relationship. I promise you, the Prince Charming fairy tale ending that God is preparing for you right now is going to be way better than any Disney movie that you or I have ever seen.
Hey there, if you would like a copy of today's EBTV show, call 615-754-0039 and be sure to mention the EBTV show number on your screen.
Thanks so much for joining us today. I, for one, know I was really excited to hear I didn't have to go out and buy the most expensive makeup brands.
Yeah,
anything at Target and Walgreens, she said would do. So that was really cool.
Yeah, she said brushes are what mattered most, which I had no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, and the interview of Karina Monroe was just really awesome because I had no idea that guys struggle with porn that much.
High school and maybe even some middle school boys, it was insane.
Yeah, that's really young.
Yeah, I agree. And today on the teaching, even when I was writing the teaching, I personally learned so much that, you know, God does have a fairy tale ending for us, but it probably doesn't look like a Disney movie.
It's okay. I don't have to marry Aladdin.
I don't either. But it would be fun to have his pet little monkey.
Oh, yeah, and a magic carpet.
That'd be awesome.
You can have a hot air balloon instead.
That'd be so fun. Well, we hope you guys had a great time. We know we did. So if you want to go check out our website, everythingbeautifultv.com, all the makeup tips there, the teaching will be there, some interview stuff will be there, and we'll see you next time here on EBTV.